When you were a child, you probably imagined what it would be like to be royalty, relaxing on a golden throne with servants running to fulfill your every desire, or perhaps twirling in a dazzling ball gown and tiara at an elegant party. However, let's be realistic, being part of the royal family isn't as glamorous as it seems, especially if you're a member of the British royal family. Along with a multitude of official rules dictating behavior, there is a strict code of etiquette to follow. If the Queen commands you to do something, well, you cannot argue, you simply obey. Here are some of the most curious, strange, and secretive rules and traditions that members of the British royal family must follow. The British royal family has some surprisingly strict rules about leisure activities, one of the most unexpected being the prohibition of playing Monopoly. This rule was revealed by Prince Andrew, Duke of York, during a public event in 2008 while presenting a Monopoly board game. At first glance, this may seem like an overreaction, but considering the game's dynamics, it makes more sense. Royals, who are real-life property owners playing a game about buying and selling properties, might send the wrong message about wealth and competition. It doesn't align with the dignified image the royal family strives to maintain, where grace, courtesy, and nobility are key qualities. Monopoly's depiction of class privilege could appear insensitive given the economic challenges many people face. While it may seem like an odd rule to outsiders, this prohibition underscores the family's sensitivity to wealth disparity issues in their unique world. Another unusual rule governing the British royal family is the strict prohibition of autographs and selfies. So if you meet a royal in person, don't expect to leave with a signed keepsake. The primary reason for this rule is to prevent fraud, as autographs can be easily copied or forged and misused. Similarly, selfies pose security risks. Getting too close for a photo could create vulnerabilities for both the royal and those nearby. Safety is a top priority, and this rule ensures it is maintained at all times. That said, not all royals follow the rule to the letter. For example, Prince Charles broke the autograph rule when he signed a piece of paper for a flood victim in Cornwall in 2010. However, he kept it simple, signing Charles 2010, respecting the spirit of the rule while offering comfort in a challenging situation. This rule, though seemingly minor, highlights the royal family's rigorous measures to protect their identities and ensure security. The royal family follows a strict protocol for gift exchanges designed to maintain neutrality and avoid favoritism. Gifts received during official engagements are considered official property of the crown, not the individual royal who receives them. This applies regardless of the gift's value, size, or recipient, whether an adult or a child. The aim of this rule is to preserve impartiality, ensuring no royal appears to accept personal gifts that might imply favoritism or bias. According to the documented royal gift policy, such items cannot be sold or traded. Instead, they may be incorporated into the royal collection, donated to museums, or passed on as gifts to others. Despite these formalities, the royal family does appreciate the gifts they receive. For instance, Prince George was photographed playing with a wombat toy given to him during a royal tour in Australia. This system reflects the delicate balance between personal appreciation and public duty in royal life. Fashion for the royal family is not just about looking good, it's also about adhering to a strict dress code. Women in the royal family are expected to wear hats at formal events, a tradition dating back to a time when it was considered improper for women to show their hair in public. After noon, hats are replaced with tiaras at formal evening events, marking a clear distinction between day and evening attire. Modesty is another key aspect of royal fashion, with dresses and skirts expected to fall just below the knee and shoulders generally covered. Queen Elizabeth Roman II, for example, is known for her brightly colored, monochromatic outfits, ensuring she stands out in public appearances. For formal dinners, royal men and women are expected to wear evening gowns and military uniforms, maintaining a sense of grandeur that separates such occasions from casual events. Traveling as a royal involves a complex set of rules. One notable tradition is the restriction on two heirs traveling together. This ensures that the royal lineage remains intact in case of an accident. However, in recent years, this rule has been relaxed, allowing Prince William and his family to travel together on occasion. Another protocol involves carrying a black mourning outfit on every trip, ensuring preparedness in the event of a family member's death. This practice stems from Queen Elizabeth II's experience in 1952, when she was in Kenya and had to wait on her plane until a mourning dress was brought to her after the death of her father, King George VI. Even accessories are governed by unwritten rules. Clutches, for instance, serve practical purposes beyond fashion. Royals like Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle often carry clutches to avoid awkward situations like deciding where to place their hands or managing uncomfortable handshakes. A clutch can also act as a silent communication tool with staff. For instance, if a royal switches the clutch from one hand to another, it might signal that they are ready to leave an event. Queen Elizabeth II famously used her handbag as a subtle communication tool, positioning it differently to convey messages. Dietary rules also reflect a mix of practicality and tradition. For instance, royals typically avoid shellfish to reduce the risk of food poisoning, as these can carry harmful bacteria or toxins. This precaution helps them maintain their busy schedules without the risk of illness. Lastly, the royal family maintains strict neutrality in politics. They do not vote in elections or publicly share political opinions, reflecting their role as constitutional monarchs who unify the nation above political disputes. This tradition of impartiality ensures that they remain symbols of stability, representing all citizens regardless of political beliefs. From strict rules about tiaras and clutches to dietary precautions and travel protocols, these traditions underscore the unique blend of duty, tradition, and public service that defines life in the British royal family. The British royal family has unique traditions and protocols that ensure members present themselves in a unified and respectful manner, reinforcing their roles as public figures representing the monarchy. Although it may seem outdated to some, bowing or curtsying carries profound symbolic meaning, connecting the royal family to centuries of tradition. Interestingly, this gesture is not only expected among royal family members. Anyone meeting the monarch, regardless of their social status, is also encouraged to bow or curtsy. This further emphasizes the symbolic weight of the gesture, highlighting the monarch's position as the head of state. The British royal family also has curious rules regarding language use. It's not just about what they say, but also when and how they say it. There is an unwritten rule discouraging the use of foreign languages in public, rooted in both historical and practical reasons. This rule helps avoid potential political or diplomatic missteps. Since English is a global language, it is considered the safest choice for communication, minimizing the risk of misunderstandings or accidental offenses due to language barriers. At the same time, there is a symbolic aspect to using only English. By doing so, members of the royal family reinforce their British identity and underline their role as national figures. However, there are exceptions. During formal events or visits to other countries, they often use the host country's language as a sign of respect and goodwill. This practice reflects the balance the royal family must maintain between being private individuals and public figures representing the United Kingdom respectfully and diplomatically. Even in moments of personal grief, the British royal family adheres to strict traditions and protocols, particularly when a close member passes away. The mourning period involves practices designed to show respect for the deceased while continuing public duties. One of the most notable practices is the requirement to wear black or dark-colored clothing. This tradition, common in many cultures, applies to both public appearances and private moments, including instances where they may be photographed. Adherence to mourning traditions underscores the gravity of the occasion and reflects respect for those who have passed. During official mourning, public engagements are typically cancelled unless absolutely necessary, allowing the family time to grieve and pay tribute in private. Even when traveling, royal members are required to carry appropriate mourning attire, ensuring they are prepared to return to the United Kingdom promptly if needed. This tradition highlights the royal family's commitment to fulfilling public responsibilities, even during deeply personal moments, becoming a public expression of empathy and collective support during national grief. Another fascinating tradition in the royal family revolves around mealtime. There is a strict rule that no one may continue eating once the king or queen has finished their meal. This practice, which goes beyond basic etiquette, is deeply rooted in tradition and reflects the monarch's symbolic role. When the monarch finishes eating, it signals to everyone at the table that the meal is over, regardless of whether others have finished or not. This tradition demonstrates respect for the monarch and helps maintain the formality and structure expected during royal gatherings. Interestingly, this rule applies to everyone dining with the monarch, not just members of the royal family. While it may seem strict, it underscores the importance of decorum during royal meals. One of the most peculiar rules is the tradition that no member of the royal family may go to bed before the king or queen. While this may sound antiquated, it reflects profound respect for the monarchy and the hierarchy within the royal household. At the heart of this tradition is a commitment to a disciplined lifestyle that goes beyond a simple guideline. It is part of centuries-old royal protocol. Practically speaking, it ensures that the monarch's schedule is strictly followed, as their needs always take precedence. While this rule has become more flexible in private residences, it still holds significant meaning during formal events, symbolizing continuity and respect for tradition.